think you're leaving, and then your X marks the spot up, and you come straight back again.
One thing is, though, that IG do not have a good way to access the backline, and most importantly, they need to kill the Ursa, so the Sven is much less of a problem. So I don't exactly know how they're going to do that yet. Maybe like a Shadow Blade, Shadow Fiend again. Maybe an Ursa with a Blink Dagger can potentially go to the backline. There are some options, but it is going to be difficult for the Ursa this game. He's going to get kited nonstop.
Oh, sorry, that jig from the Kunkka is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, I had no idea what that was.
I feel like drinking and having a shanty right now as Kunkka is just walking around the map taunting. He already got himself an aggressive Observer Ward on the bottom lanes. They want to know whenever Treant's going to come over, whenever there's going to be any kind of real aggression against the safe laner. And maybe that's why they're still tossing up where they put Burning. In fact, they're pushing Burning to the north lane, and XXS is moving down to the bottom. Now, I'm kind of surprised at this, mainly because of the block that we saw the Earthshaker do last time. It was really easy and really quick levels for him. And they're still happy to give that up. He'll miss the first lane.
He'll also have skilled up Fissure. Normally in a one-on-one, you don't actually want Fissure. You want Enchant.
Can he even one-on-one? Like, I know, like, we talked about Earthshaker winning up against, like, an Ember Spirit, but up against an SK? Do you win a 1v1 matchup up against a Sand King?
It's pretty poor, but manageable. I think with Solo there, he is going to get destroyed, though.
Yeah. And Solo's already just saying exactly where he is. Punches him once. So the Earthshaker continues to move to the bottom.
That lane is so far
Burning up against Ramses on the top. Even though Lil, for interesting reasons, is tethered towards a range creep, as opposed to on top of Ramses.
Maybe...
The range creep was attacking Burning at the time. Do you actually get more damage out of that? Like, more effectiveness out of tethering a range creep, which is attacking the core on the lane?
Well, it's better than Sven not hitting anyone.
Well...
XSS having a little bit of a difficult time, just forced a Fissure for some range creep. Solo still causing a heck of a lot of problems. So they need this top lane to work out. IG, they need to be able to deal with that guy a little bit, or else Tree is going to bully him. Okay, so now they've finally brought enough pressure so that Tree is forced to rotate, and now XSS can finally have his one-on-one.
He actually had an opportunity as well. If he wanted to throw out the Fissure, he could have canceled the TP.
He's probably like, I want my own farm. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, do I really want to keep this guy down here? But the aggro tri-lane from IG is really trying to hit the mark, so Bobica has to hit the Torrent. There's no other way around it, and he's going to do so. Gets behind Ramses, but all it does is give him space, and they're already switching lanes. XSS now moves towards the top lane, Ursa moves towards the south lane. Was this the plan all along, to get the Earthshaker back up on top lane and just to have the better lane switch? The mind game of the mind game?
It seems that way, but Ursa does much better versus the Sand King, I would say, than the Shaker. And I think it's more important that they realize they can't kill the Sven up top, and Io's in too good of a position, so there's no chance that they can really do anything on that top lane.
He's doing it again. This is going to be one of the easiest pulls I've actually seen to do. Like, an easy Fissure block, pull over, and because of the double stack, he can deny the entire creep wave. And this is going to really start to mess up Ramses' farm once more. Like, he's 9-2 on this Sven. That's fantastic for him, but if he gets entire waves deleted...
It's not as bad as last game. Last game, he was a life stealer who can't really stack and farm. I think Io can stack up multiple camps at once, and Sven's much better at taking stacks. So they will move the Io down to the bottom lane to threaten this Ursa a little bit more. Pasha is...
There's the Burrow Strike. And he just wants to clamp and keep the Sand King away from him. Able to do so, gets back behind the tower, and now will burn off the south. So VP, interesting fun times being had on both the side lanes as Q gets just pushed away by actually with the orb. He doesn't have Icarus dive. With the tether forward, I think Solo might be able to actually claim first blood here. No, the sprites are out. One more. He's got to stop the fist, but it won't stop. Solo gets the first blood underneath the tier 2 tower on the bottom lane. But it's the mid where OP really needs something to work for him. A long-range race doesn't have the mana for it or have it off cooldown. So Bobica won't catch the leader, but it's 22-7 against 8-3. OP has been shut out of the CS in the mid lane.
It's a long way back for the Lena to run, but this Wisp Treant is not going to be enough.
That's very deep under the tower. Luckily for them, there's no X marks the spot for Bobica, so they can't force VP to stay engaged.
You can see how troublesome this duo is. You have double heal, Treant needs to be able to punch people and run people down, and the double slow even is very, very annoying. Yeah, as you mentioned, Lina is destroying OP.
Yeah, this is... You talk about like those recoveries, like Ramses can play recovery if his CS isn't great. He's 14-4. The SF now needs to do that, like the exact same thing. Get in there, recover, flash farm up with the razors, get back into the jungle. And maybe that's when we start to wonder how deep VP's vision is going to go inside the Radiant jungle. Do you actually get in there and block up the camps? Stop OP's recovery?
Seems that way. They're already doing pretty well in terms of gold. Just before stacking and farming comes out from Ramses. Ramses not really showing any signs of what he wants to build just yet.
Solo, Leech Seed. He won't be able to get the root because he's moved so far out of the range. The trees and the fissure block. It doesn't actually block Q. No Sunray available. He's got Icarus Dive and Sprite trying to slow down the attack of Ramses as well as Solo, and it will be successful now.
Right on the 5-minute mark. Time to hit the shrine. Come here, fire friend. Come here.
See, that's the other question. What element is Shrine? Is it technically water? And what happens when you put water on a Phoenix?
You extinguish his flames, but he is rebirthed once again.
That's always an elemental answer from you.
I'm all about that elemental lore.
Yeah. There's so many elemental things that are broken. We're just making excuses for Dota now. Bobica rotating in towards the mid lane. He does have a 2-0-1 build up at the moment. So X marks the spot, range is pretty poor. Tether forward. Ramses, he wanted the Stormbolt. The lead seat trying to bring him in range. Phoenix, does he really want to do anything? Not going to reveal his position until this. The fissure, but a little too late on both the Torrent as well as the Sprites.
Doesn't matter. If you can't get listed, you're not going to kill anyone. You're talking about like double heal from Leech Seed. That is so hard. And then he can also pop Warcry if they want to start right-clicking.
Oh, Stormbolt. Exercise just walks straight into it. Can he get the fissure off? The totem stun into a double fissure, but the spirits from Lil. Way too much damage for the Earthshaker to survive.
Doesn't seem like they know how to play versus Wisp very well at all. They constantly just waste spells on Wisp partners, and Wisp is more than happy to take some of the harass and then heal both of them up. And they've gotten past the tough part of the game, I would say, in terms of the laning swaps, but both heroes almost die on bottom. Pasha will just use up the shrine while Burning will foot it back home. But all three lanes, I would say, going very, very well for Virtus Pro.
I'm actually more interested, like, why XSS kind of abandoned his fissure block pull. Like, there was enough he can keep denying up the waves instead of he's giving the farm over to Q.
They were stacking and pulling just like this. They were denying him farm as well.
So they had to come up and engage.
Yeah, because you're getting like multiple pull camps out of the Dire side, whereas you're only getting one pull camp, and that only respawns every minute. Whereas Sven, yeah, you're much more worried about Dire side playing greedily.
Well, because the Earthshaker is so close, and because he goes for the Soul Ring build consistently instead of like any kind of Blink Dagger, the Fissure spam is allowing him just to either snipe creeps or interrupt VP's pulls. Bottom lane's been having a good time as well for Burning. Whenever he can go for an opportunity with that actual Torrent. X marks spot. Pasha knows he can't just Burrow Strike away. Orskis is on cooldown for 1 second. They pull him straight back into the fight.
Very nice skill. And Ursa is coming into more early items too. He does have the Raindrop and the early Orb of Venom, so I do like this because you do need to win your lane first before you can proceed to other parts of the map. And Ursa should dominate most one-on-one matchups. It looks like OP lucked out a little bit, getting the regeneration rune on the bottom. No one pounding away on that mid tower with the double damage, and OP will be forced to defend this wave. No Requiem up, so no big Requiem play right there with the Invis.
XSS is trying to bait Ramses into a fight on top of the big camp that was there. He's got his Echo Slam available, and Ramses he would survive it, but he'd be licking his wounds shortly after.
And XSS would all get that precious, precious gold.
I still can't believe also the CS difference. Like, it wasn't just the mid lane. Like, the bottom lane Burning at 26-5 against a 55-20 Sand King.
He had the early start. I believe he was probably level 3 when Burning was level 1, and that difference is very hard to overcome as a melee hero, even though Ursa does have the upper hand in most matches. I'm not sure about this one in particular, probably not, because Caustic wrecks him. Yeah, well, see a smoke going down on bottom, Lil and Solo. Placing some wards, making sure the SF can't farm, and making sure they have eyes on Ursa is very important. They do not let him sneak Roche, especially with how far behind he is in this early game creep score.
Yeah, that's going to be that catch-up mechanic. But because the mid lane SF's already backed out, no one again is able to pepper into the tier 1 tower. There's no fortification to protect it this time around. And Bobica caught inside the jungle. Pasha's making his way over. Doesn't have a blink dagger, so cannot close the distance between himself as well as Kunkka.
Still great torrent by him. They just need to stave off this pressure, and now Ursa is actually safe to farm a little bit more. He is very far away from his Morbid Mask, though, so could still be a while before we see them make a Roche attempt. OP is fairly close to level 10. He actually already has Presence of Dark Lord at level 9, so they can do Roche.
No reason to have the Requiem just yet. He's also been waiting forever. His treads are coming on the Courier, but because the Courier was busy ferrying consumables down the bottom lane to keep Burning alive, just took so long to get the rest of his wand up, as well as the extra clarity, which he desperately needed. Short of mana and cannot keep affording to go home to regenerate.
Well, at least they have the Arcane boots coming out from Kunkka that can help him out.
That is true. Gives Kunkka a little bit more to spam with. They actually have enough items, but it feels like IG are in a good position, but with the net worth, the top 3 belong to the VP cores. So they are behind. 1,000 is what really separates them. Top lane XSS in a little bit of trouble. Has his Echo Slam. May have to commit it if he wants to try and escape from this one. And in fact, he will. A quick follow-up with the Totem. Doesn't have his Fissure back yet. No support either, but he'll make a break for the tree lines. But the 2 quick swings from Ramses. Thanks to the Mask of Madness, he went on this Ven. So able to catch up to the Earthshaker and bring him down.
I thought he was going to try and kill the Wisp there. Nice kiting, though, by Ramses. Pretty easy with all that move speed, Warcry, Tether, and Mask of Madness, as you mentioned. So early game not going well for IG at all. 4,000 when you have an Ursa on your team is awful. And last game, I would say they had the team fight to back it up. But this game, I think they're so far behind that they aren't going to be able to team fight. Maybe inside the Roche pit, I would say. But Phoenix is not level 6 yet, and they're still going to need to wait on a tome or at least a few more minutes if they want to fight at the Roche pit. But I think it's about that time where they need to make something happen, or else they will lose out by the war of attrition.
Oh, VP's looking for their opening. Q, the one visible underneath that Observe Ward in the mid. No one wants to force him out. Maybe Pasha, just Epicenter. And that looked way too easy. The Dragon Slave from no one. Kill secures. After Pasha reveals his Blink Dagger for the first time, might have to go back in again. No one. X Torrent gonna hold him next to tier 1 tower. The Burrow Strike, it caught out Burning, but the damage from OP will be enough, and they look for more. The slow on to Solo, and Burning will be able to claim his own kill in the form of the Tree and Protector.
Very aggressive play by Lina, not really respecting the Kunkka. He did go for a nice play and try and stun the Kunkka while he was trying to torrent, but this gives them a small window to perhaps take Roche. I believe Ursa does have his Morbid Mask now.
It's coming on the Courier.
There is a smoke also on Q if they want to try and sneak it in. It's about that time where you would love to get your hands on that Roche.
You're actually seeing them preparing sentry wards from Bobica.
XSS is dead.
Yeah. Distraction. Might also be a really good time to give Lil that top lane, because he's just about to hit level 6. Like, he's just shy of level 6. With this creep wave dying, he will have it.
Well, Treant is about to scout out. Solo trying to wait for the invis on Nature's Guys. He does only level 1 Nature's Guys,
He doesn't know, though. Like,
I think it's less that he doesn't know and more so that if he goes in, he's going to die.
Yeah.
Like, they could easily have a Sentry Ward. He could just die. He doesn't have Root. He's also not level 6, so that will be the free Roche. Finally, something small going IG's way.
Definitely going to help him. When there were 5,000 net worth behind, they needed somebody to try and help tilt this around. And having the Aegis Immortal now, oh, okay, X marks the spot, no one. Well, they're committing everything they've possibly got. The SK's going to TP in. The Nova, pretty quick out from the Phoenix. Nothing's really going to stop that as the Ursa tries to fight Pasha. Burrow Strikes out of range of the Nova of Q, and they can turn into Ursa, into Burning. You can say goodbye to that Aegis Immortal. That lasted a grand total of, well, no time. And now he's going to be surrounded by 5 heroes. Even Io's coming in to be part of it.
That was an awful team fight from them. That X boat did not connect, and they also committed the egg thinking that it would connect. And, you know, it's nice to have some faith in your teammates, but...
Oh, Kunkka, he just X'd back into the fight. He tried to go back home to regenerate up just quickly so he can have some mana to defend, but gives away his own life, and Virtus Pro, they get a freebie.
Now IG has a mountain to climb. The first Roshan did not pan out the way that they wanted. They've lost their mid tower, they've lost their top tower, they have no blinks.
OP's dead. They have enough damage. OP's winding up the Requiem. Solo defensively throws the Overgrowth. He was very concerned that they would have had to deal with 2 Requiems.
That's just very nice, fast-paced play from Virtus Pro, making very good use of the IO, I would say, combining him with the Treant in the early game, who's going to be the one primarily roaming and beating on heroes, and then combining him now with a Sven in the mid game, who has had plenty of free farm on the top lane and is able to dominate these IG cores.
I want to give some good props to Pasha as well, just in the last couple of engagements. You look at the influence that comes from XXS as well as Pasha, both walking around with the blinks. In fact, it's almost mirrored item builds coming out from the 2 of them.
XSS just got his blink though. Pasha had his blink like, what, 5 minutes ago maybe?
Yeah, because his lane was so amazing.
Yep. They've all had amazing laning phases from Virtus Pro. Like, they have so many last hits on each of their 3 cores.
OP's got his new item, so Shadow Blade is on the way out. Burning's also looking into his own Blink Dagger. So items are arriving for Invictus Gaming to make plays, but Virtus Pro, just how tanky are they? The SMY from Ramses is rapidly approaching completion, 50 gold for that one. Treant doesn't really have a lot to work with, but Lil, having Urn, Bottle, it's enough regeneration to keep most of his team alive. He's getting a Yule Scepter for the Sand King. That's how far ahead he is. Epicenter, they're committing up on top. They really want Burning to die. The Enrage will protect him quite well, and he doesn't just try and turn and fight. Now he will, but realizing it a little too late, he was most definitely toast.
Trying to beat the bear team with a bear? It's not working out well for them.
Got to know about Solo. Now this time the Treant Protector burns in the Sun Ray. It still takes so much to kill him off, and they give the last hit to Q. Those two, the Q, trying to go for this Veil of Discord, amplify any damage they possibly can.
What damage?
I don't know. I was hoping you would answer that question.
They don't have any. Most of their damage is physical right now.
Unless he's able to get like the Veil off when the Requiem of Souls is just about to pop.
It can't kill a Sven though, and then they have to be able to kill the Wisp. The Wisp is the big problem here. Like, Sven doesn't have to go for a Blink Dagger. Look at his build. He just has Mask of Madness, Sage and Yasha, and next he's going for BKB. A hero like the Shadow Fiend can't deal with it at all. How do you deal with this very high armor Sven? I guess you can kite him, but if you go on the backline trying to kill the Wisp, you're going to die yourself without a BKB.
They're going to... Well, there's no fortification for Virtus Pro, so they can't delay the push on the tower. Pasha waits in the trees. And IG at the end of that day will get a free tier 1 tower on the top lane. VP being very, very patient about where they're going to take the fights.
Still things...
Oh, that's a lot of TPs. This would be a perfect time if they can do it. XSS sees no one. Echo Slam, he just needed the instant stun. Follow-up Fissure, Kunkka, ensuring that no one will have to remain here as he drops down the boat. But he's already down, denying himself with a Bloodstone. No one just made the most of the opportunity. 3 seconds until that relocate can pull him back out again, but he won't have 3 seconds. Lil will fall for 30 seconds down. Meanwhile, Burning, engaged again, enraged up. They have enough damage to get the kill. No one has arrived back. Thanks to Bloodstone, a very quick spawn time. Laguna Blades, Bobica will fall. The Epicenter slowing down the Fears. He doesn't have his Icarus dive. Not even Fire Spirit's back off cooldown. So you lose out on a couple of heroes, the Lina as well as the Io, but instantly fighting back and taking 3 of IG's.
Sven just does so much damage right now. It's quite scary how hard he hits. And he has not as many problems as getting kited as you would hope if you were IG. X isn't really going to do much to him. You can Fissure him, but then you're going to give away your positioning. You're going to get jumped by the Sand King. Fire Spirits doesn't do that much when you have a ton of attack speed from Mask of Madness and Overcharge. And Ursa, I've never seen an Ursa die this quickly through Enrage.
You expect some kind of life item, but he's still sitting at 1300 HP. It's just not enough to survive. And then you also even got, I was about to say, you got a double damage rune over on this vent, but
when you have to go survival items on Ursa, that's a really bad sign. Normally you should do enough damage that you can lifesteal through whatever damage you're taking with Enrage, but unfortunately this game is not the case for Ursa.
That double damage rune I mentioned is on no one inside of his bottle. So the damage output from the Lina could just skyrocket as well. And Invictus Gaming, you asked the question, like, how do you get yourself back into this fight?
Another Roche is first step.
Well, you've got a minute and 40 seconds before he can potentially respawn. That's a long time. Maybe. Actually, the Shadow Fiend's getting closer and closer towards his own BKB. So he might have that for the next engagement. The Kunkka is, the Earthshaker is still trying to finish up a 4-star, so they can kite something out here. And it's the same thing for the Kunkka. He's actually looking to build his own 4-star.
That's BKB. Say goodbye to your Shadow Fiend.
As long as it comes on the courier in time. Kunkka's on the run. Doesn't even stick around for the 20-minute bounty room, but the blink to Yule Scepter. Had to use the Burrow Strike to get the distance, but it won't matter. Okay, Kunkka. Nice 3-man boat. Solo still in the neighborhood. Kunkka. Oh, wait. Not enough mana. He had 8 wand charges. He had enough mana to let the Overgrowth go, but maybe not enough to justify for the Kunkka. And only the Kunkka. VP have bigger plans on their mind.
It's getting rough. Rougher and rougher as I eye the next Roshan respawn. How do they take a fight here? Egg outside the pit with Echo inside the pit. Sounds pretty good to me.
If they can follow up with the ship, let the SF have his space to fight, sure.
And pray that Sven doesn't pop his BKB on time.
Might be one of the other reasons too why OP is just farming around the Ancients to try and stop VP from getting that aggressive ward vision down. Currently, VP have only 1 ward on the Radiant side of the map, and that's smack bang in the middle lane. They have actually no other wards up. The Observe ward from IG is watching the northern side of the pit, so if VP have any intention of coming down here, they'll know about it. But you look at the spawn time of Roshan, 2 minutes and 20 seconds, we'll have to wait until Roshan is up. So if VP want to wait around Roshan, they can do so. Meanwhile, Burning, finding more farm for himself, has a casual Ogre Club, assuming BKB is the next thing on his list as well. Quick pause. Not certain what's wrong with VP, but IG are expecting Roshan to be up. That's why they 4-man smoke, but they were on top of the Dire Observer ward when it happened. So VP are fully aware of what IG are up to.
This is not good. Solo's also just hanging around the pit. So any avenue for Ursa to just steal it is kind of gone. Solo will pop the smoke. Ekka says, and...
Where's detection?
Oh, no.
There it is. The sentry wall's on top of the hill. Solo's going to fall.
They had to blow a smoke for that. If Roche were up, I would say it would be worth it. But even then, they can just get Epicenter. There's no BKBs on the side of IG. So all this magic damage wombo combo.
They jumped in. Pasha, Burrow Strike out. They throw down the secondary sentry ward so he couldn't hide, but the Yule Scepter, they have enough damage. VP, one by one.
Feed.
Oh, no. Lil trying to relocate a very short distance. Ramses is still in the neighborhood. So they're not going to commit on this, or will they? Sprite number 1. Q holding on for the second. The stomp is there. Burning, going in deep. The fissure over on 2. Enrage needs to break free. The Nova is down, but Sven protected by that BKB. Killing off Burning. Ramses is a beast. The BKB still gets stunned up, obviously. Going to penetrate it with the Nova. Solo has to overgrowth, create more space here. The Verse Pro to fight, but with the Sun Ray down the Storm Bolt, it'll cancel that nice and quickly. XSS back into the fight. Where's your buybacks? Where's your team? It doesn't really exist. A quick Icarus dive away. And it looks like both sides will be able to disengage. Another 45 seconds for Roshan.
You certainly take that if you're IG. They're still having problems killing the other cores because they don't have enough damage output right now. X can only do so much. You can bring them back, but you still have to end up killing them. Echo Slam is great, but that can only be cast once. Requiem didn't really connect with anyone. he also doesn't have a good way in the fight because most of the concentration needs to be directed towards the Ursa if you're on the side of IEG. And there's no like blink dang on the Shadow Feed, so him being able to follow it with a big grab gun on Earthshaker is pretty much not happening in this game.
Roshan's about to spawn. Earthshaker will be able to scout this one out. Roshan is now up. But he was almost at maximum spawn time, so both sides are aware of this. They just have to keep their eyes close on the pit. All right, Invictus Gaming, how do you want to play this? For now, it just looks like they're backing out. They're not going to try and engage. Wait until Virtus.pro come to them. At the same time, being very defensive about it. Burning farms up one creep in the Ancients and then runs away. And it'll be VP to go in. Not the fastest at killing off Roshan. God's Strength is going to help him with that. And now with the help of no one's damage, okay, now they've gotten a hell of a lot faster. A damage increase from Fiery Soul and God's Strength. They'll kill Roshan before IG will even arrive. And what do? Solo's there. They put down the Sentry Ward, the Echo Slam with the backlines for the Lina. It's a nice fissure, but the Epicenter, it's hit the mark perfectly. Ramses has all the space in the world just to beat through Burning, and Ursa is meant to be their damage dealer, trying to kill off Solo on 86 HP. He'll have space thanks to the Yulsep, the Rapasha. They just can't get away from him. The control is too great from Virtus.pro. The Aegis Immortal is still in their hands.
Tree's such a big deal. Being able to scout out Invis like that is so hard to handle. I think XSS made the right call with what little information that he had. He went for immediate Blink Echo onto the Lina, but Sven was able to blink up the hill
They're gone again.
Cleave him down.
There's no BKB to protect OP. However, detection is also something which VP do not have. So OP can hide in the shadows. Pasha, X. XSS would love to try and fight this, but all he can really do is just fissure, block him in. Requiem of Souls connects on no one as well as Ramses, but they were so far away. The damage output is minimal. Ramses mistiming on the blink, but still, the torrent timing was all off from the Kunkka. And God's Strength's about to come off cool. It's already off cooldown. They can go again if they want to. But for now, it's a back out.
Just waiting for a better opportunity. They're not in any rush. You're up against an Ursa core. He gets weaker and weaker as the game goes on. No roaches for him. He farms very slowly with the items that he have. And Shadow Fiend seems to be getting destroyed by this Fen or the Lina every single fight. And as his BKB charges get lower and lower, it will be even easier to kill him. So I would say both their heroes get weaker as the game goes on. Yeah, Sven has BKB, but I think he's enabled by the Wisp. He's kind of like 1.5, 1.75 heroes right now.
Yeah.
With the Wisps in his belt.
And IG, they're definitely having a hard road ahead of them. Ramses and Lil just continue to farm up inside the dire jungle. If anyone gets in trouble, you know it's just going to be a quick relocate to bring everybody in from Virtus.pro. And they would love to just go down mid. That's exactly where they're all going to group up. It's where the tower is weakest, down to 505 of a 1600 HP. And no one, Blink and Yules, his initiation is... gets better. Didn't even have that in the last engagement. This time he's got it. Observe Ward up on the hill from Solo. They see XSS perfectly. No one in pretty close. Quick Yule Scepter up. Wait out the X mark spot if it's going to be possible, which it was. And then let the regeneration kick in. Living Armor plus Bloodstone. This time it's going to be the X mark on Burning. Commits, goes after no one. Can't find the kill. But Ramses, he's the main man, jumping in, looking for the Earthshaker pop. He hasn't managed to get it just yet. The BKB will wear off now. So now Ramses a little bit more vulnerable, and that's why Earthshaker jumps out. They keep the Sunray on him, but the relocate save pulls him out. In comes your representative from the SK. Q will not tick, but the Nova, little to no effect from him, and Ramses, the perfect double bolt. Bobakar and OP saved by XSS with his stun. But Virtus.pro playing around this perfectly.
Yep, very nice fight coming from them. Nice positioning, nice and spread out. Sven went a little bit deep and tried to kill the Shaker before he could get his Echo off, but that didn't really happen from him because of excellent force staff users on the side of IG. And VP still having trouble taking down that first T3, playing it slow and steady, making sure not to lose any fight as they try to raise an insurmountable lead over Invictus.
When you got to commit a 35-second cooldown Icarus dive in order to get that Observer Ward down, you know life is hard for IG when they can't even leave their base without using an ability.
Certainly so, and they don't have tree armor on their side to heal things up. Winter said it was a mistake to give them IO in tree, and this is the result.
Observer's going to get instantly countered. Burning again, looking for an opening. Trying to play this where Burning has little risk thanks to the X marks the spot. Only thing that will actually put Burning in trouble is if Parcher is able to blink in and burrow strike that Kunkka. So at least you can't time the pullout. VP get what they want. Tier 3 tower falls. Shrines now become exposed.
Any sort of desperate play that they can make right now, it's getting close to Hail Mary territory.
I wonder if it actually comes from a mistake as well from Virtus Pro. But how you seem to be so farmed on VP that even making a mistake with these guys is difficult. You get a fresh BKB now on the leader, so even if no one goes in really hardcore, he's just going to BKB, get out to safety. The epicenter from Pasha creates so much space in the last fight as well.
We have seen massive amounts of upside from like a Shaker plus Kunkka combo though, or Echo Slam into Boat could do a lot of damage.
VP just have to group up for that to work.
Yep. But when you get careless and when you're this far ahead, sometimes it does happen, and more often than not, when you're when your opponents are at such a disadvantage that you think that you can just toy with them until the game is over.
Maybe another reason too why VP is being a little bit more cautious. I don't think we could really class anything they've been doing as toying. It's just been really smart engagements. They're waiting for the really solid pickoff. Either I think it's almost Echo Slam and Boat down, with either Kunkka or SF pushing up the daisies. Sorry, Ursa or SF dead. But they haven't had that opportunity yet. So they just slowly chip away, play cautiously. Don't put themselves at risk. Wait for maybe the next Roshan. Minute and 40 seconds before he could potentially respawn. All of this is taking time.
Time that IG are wasting, not farming.
Oh, they're still too defensive. How do you farm unless you're as a 5-man core? You don't know where VP is. The Dire is scanning, wondering if IG are doing that old smoke play to come up and get around up to where the tier 2 tower is in the mid. But, nope. VP are now grouped up for a good smoke position themselves. They actually have a smoke? No, they don't. Not on them. But a heart on Sven? Holy crap, he is tanky. How do you even kill Ramses? Living armor protection, he has a heart, he's got his Mask of Mass for regeneration, the BKB for protection.
Eat like 50 Fury swipe stacks.
Okay. Just need to ask a favor of Ramses for all of China. Ramses, stay still for about 10 minutes inside the base of IG. That's one way to do it. Burning. You can't even keep the stacks up. You want to work with a Kunkka. You'll get 4, 5 swipes in maximum before he'll have to be pulled back. Then you lose your stacks. You lose all that bonus damage you could get.
Shrines being systematically taken down as VP look to close this game out soon. It's pretty worrisome that the Shadow Fiend is so high on CS. He's actually pretty close to CS, but the net worth is not very close. He's within 30 CS of the 2 big Virtus Pro cores.
Well, he's still 6 towers behind.
Yep, and a lot of deaths up.
Yep. It's 20,000 or 19K the difference. That's a lot of money to be short when you're Invictus Gaming. They're looking for another Observe Ward. That's not going to last, but it gives them just enough vision to hit the Kunkka. Quick Yule Scepter up. Ursa goes in towards the area. He has it in range as well as BKB now opening up, burning. Ramses is just trying to man mode into him. The Fissure, it's blocked Ramses in. No! There's a small slither for him to get back out. And the X-Mark spot works in the favor of Ramses, putting that God Strength to work. Here comes your representative from Pasha. They still haven't brought down the racks just yet. Echo Slam. Exorcist hits it perfectly, combining up with the Nova. Do they have enough? No one stands his ground. The BKB is allowed to freely hit into the Nova. An Alliance Strike Array and a double Burrow Strike. All the stuns are connecting perfectly from Virtus Pro, but they still haven't claimed the objective. They've done damage to the range racks, but they haven't brought down the mid racks yet. They're trying. The buyback from the Earthshaker's keeping him out. He's the only one that had to buy back in this engagement so far. And they're going in deep. The Burrow Strike, perfect 4-star from XSS, dodging Pasha. But Ramses takes the range racks. BKB on cooldown for another 8 seconds. The Torrent, it will be able to connect. Some quick raises. Where's your follow-up? Ramses, 2 seconds. 1 second till BKB. God Strength still on cooldown a little bit longer, but Pasha, the double Burrow Strike will connect the Enrage, protecting Burning from high amounts of damage, but still, Ramses hits like a truck. He's gonna get more. OP will fall. There is no more Ursa, so Burning is down. Ramses wants it, and he's gonna get it. The Burrow Strike helps create space. Burberka will fall. The mid-rank is finally down after what appears to have been a 1 hour long siege of mid, but really it was only 15 minutes. Ramses goes for more. A triple kill for him, catching Q out of position. And OP, defensive BKB, does not protect you from the physical damage. No one will take it, and VP take game number 2 and will force us into a third.
Lanes